Yo and hello everybody, Mike here, baseball collector. And today is one of those days where I'm going to do a video that's probably some people have been anticipating, and that's announcing and talking through the 2022 YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame balloting process, whatever you want to say. You know, back in 2018, this will be the fifth year that this has been done. I started this idea with wanting to create some type of way to honor, recognize, check out all these different channels that have come before. Believe it or not, Sports Cards on YouTube has been around a long time. And I know there's so many of you out there that are new to YouTube, new to watching Sports Cards videos on YouTube, but I'm telling you, it's been around since YouTube has been around. So, I mean, we're talking, there's probably a 15-year history at least on Sports Cards on YouTube. And so, in kind of an homage to the past, a nod to that beginnings, I said, hey, what would be like the Hall of Fame for the YouTubers? Who would people vote for as a way for me to discover potentially some of those channels that I didn't even know about that had existed for years prior to even me joining YouTube? And so that was the idea and the impetus for creating a YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame, to be voted on by the community, by other people that watch content, that consume content, that create content. That was the idea. And so it over the years has changed and manifested itself in different ways. There's been controversy surrounding it in terms of people not liking necessarily how the process is run or how I do it and whatnot. That all has happened over the last 5 years. But the reality is, I think it's been a net positive thing for the community. And we'll talk about that some more in a second. But over those first 4 years that it was done, it became to a point where a lot of people were providing suggestions on making changes on how it was done. I literally came up with this idea in 2018 and just ran with it. I didn't honestly, if I would have, looking back, I might have done it a little bit differently as I started it. But once I kind of did it a certain way, I felt important to continue that and be consistent with that. But all things need to change. They do. And after 4 years of doing it, I'm like, okay, I've kind of run the course with this idea, and I think it's time to let somebody else run it. I think it's time to let somebody else inject their ideas, inject their thoughts into the process, because I do think it's great for the community. I think it's great for discovering other channels and all these things that it brings, and attention to the sports card community and all those things. But I felt like I had run my course with that. So I thought about it long and hard, and like, who would I want to pass the reins on to? Who would I want to make the next commissioner of the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame? And I couldn't think of a better person than the guy who ultimately said yes. And I'm going to bring him on now, and we're going to talk through this a little bit. And it's Jake, the Ticket Leprechaun. All legends never die. You have so many. You have a lot of names now, but Jake, I am passing the baton to you, sir. You are now in charge of all things YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame. So, congratulations. Is that the right thing to say? Or good luck with that?
At this moment, it feels like congratulations. So, surprise everybody! You can add a YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame commissioner to my many names, apparently.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Yeah, well, I think you are a great person to take this to the next level, to continue this on. I like the idea that it's tough for someone who's already been doing it to make changes. So I'm excited to see what kind of changes you're going to make. For people that don't know, Jake, do what you think is right. Literally, I mean, I've provided some input, but the reality is, Jake, this is going to be your baby now, and you can do with it as you like. And I know you've got some changes in mind. You've told me some of those, and kind of what's going to happen from here. Like what's next for the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame for 2022.
Sure. So now that the cat is out of the bag and we can tell everyone that I'm the commissioner now, I plan to shoot a video on my own channel to detail the process, how it works, both as a refresher for people that have done it the past 4 years, as well as new people, and to go over those rule changes and processes that I'm tweaking a little bit. I'm changing a little bit. Putting on the mantle of commissioner. I guess I'm going a little rogue like Brian Kinney on MLB Network with a rogue commissioner. But I think that they're good changes, good for the community, and I think will be a good thing for the longevity of a great thing that you started for the community.
Well, it's funny, the criticisms that I would get over the years, every year there would be different critics providing their 2 cents on how it should be run and what they thought. And the reality is, I was always just trying to do the best I could. I wasn't, trying to say it was the end all be all perfect answer on every different thing and nuance with it. I was just trying to make a way for people to have some fun with it and recognize other channels. So I hope that the changes that you plan on implementing, people are open-minded about it and reasonable about it. I've always said, and I said this pretty much every year, like, if you want to come up with your own rules, knock yourself out. Like, if you want to do it a different way, I don't have like a copyright or a, license monopoly on this idea, but it has grown over the years. I mean, there's over 40 channels that are currently in this iteration of the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame. So we'll see who gets added to that distinguished list over the next little while as balloting commences. So I'm excited to see, Jake, what you're going to be doing. Your channel is Legends Never Die. I will put a link to that channel in this video so that if you're not familiar with Jake, or you just you should go subscribe so that you'll be notified when he does his video to announce the balloting for this year. Anything else you want to throw in there, Jake?
This is my favorite community event of the year. It really is. Before I was ever involved with it, I think it's a great thing to bring people together, for us to talk about some of the great channels and great content within our community. But maybe most importantly, because it happens year after year after year, that whether it's a new YouTuber or someone that's been around, everyone seems to discover new channels that they love because of this event. And that's what I think really makes it special, and what you ultimately intended it for, or a big part of it, at least for new guys that may be new to our little niche community here, of I've never heard of Silver Jackify. I don't know how, or you haven't heard of Those Back Pages or Baseball Collector, whoever it is, or guys that aren't even in the Hall of Fame. For example, I had never heard of Blue Rock TV before this contest, I believe 2 years ago. It's how I found Lou, and I love his channel. And I think that's a really cool thing that this does.
Yeah, that was the idea behind it, to mainly go back, in time. But it helped people discover, as people did ballots, people would go see people's ballots and be like, oh, I'd never even heard of that guy who did a ballot, newer guys and newer channels. So it's meant to connect the community together and bring people together, like you said. So hopefully that continues. That's the passion behind it. And I am so excited that you're taking over for a lot of reasons. And I think you're going to do a great job, and I hope everybody is supportive of you and what changes you're going to make, and hopefully continues to be a part of this.
Thanks, Mike. And yeah, I'll make that announcement within the next week from the release of this video. So keep your eyes peeled on Legends Never Die, and we'll get this thing rolling and have another fun year with it.
All right. Well, that's it, guys. We just wanted to come on here and kind of let you know what's happening and how things are going to go. So next up for that, stay tuned to Jake's channel, like he said, and like I said, and here we go. 2022 balloting will be ready soon. Here we go. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Have a good one. Thanks, Jake. And hey, keep collecting.